The company that literally just bought a virtual reality platform and renamed themselves after a concept nobody asked for just dropped the most practical piece of tech I've seen in years. Meanwhile, Apple spent an hour telling us they invented the color orange. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. Look, I'll be honest, I'm not a Meta fanboy, not at all. I'm the guy who bought the Oculus Go VR glasses, used them twice to show my friends a virtual Italian beach, and then watched Meta brick them into expensive paperweights because they stopped supporting them. $200 straight in the garbage. Thanks, Zuckerberg. I appreciate that. That's why you're rich. But here's the thing. Sometimes the villain of the story actually does something right, and these new Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses, they might be the hero we didn't know we needed. Now, I didn't watch the Meta unveil live because frankly, I assumed it would be another, look, you can video yourself making pancakes in AR disaster kind of thing. And actually what I heard is the demo was kind of a disaster. So if you want to actually learn about them, probably watching the live unveiling is not the right way to go. But I really thought they'd be more like the original Ray-Ban smart glasses, which were just basically wearable spy cameras for people who wanted to feel like they were in a Jason Bourne movie, but still looked like they worked outside in middle management. But this new version, shall I say it? Game changer possibility? Complete game changer? It could be. It definitely could be. Here's why I'm actually excited, and trust me, it takes a lot to get me excited, unless you're touching me in certain places, about anything that Meta does. Remember, this is the same company that thought we all wanted to have business meetings as legless avatars in the metaverse. The new glasses come with a neural wristband. Stay with me here. I know it sounds like something out of a Black Mirror episode, but what this thing does is let you write on any surface and it translates it into text. Your leg, your arm, your table, your neighbor's bald head. I'm kidding about that last one. There might be reflectivity problems. You know, those moments when you desperately need to write something down but can't? Listen, I was at my toddler's school production and bless his little heart, he had about 45 seconds of stage time in a 40-minute show, which was, bearable. Listen, my brain doesn't stop working just because you're watching Twinkle Twinkle Little Star for the 17th time. I had ideas, I had to-dos, I had actual work thoughts happening, but I couldn't do anything about it without looking like the world's worst parent pulling out my phone. David Allen's Getting Things Done system says you need to capture thoughts immediately or your brain will lose them. But society says you can't whip out your iPhone during little Timmy's poetry reading because that'll show who the good parents are. It's a real conundrum. Now, I can just finger write on my leg like it's 1996 and I'm using a Palm Pilot, except way less embarrassing because nobody sees me doing it and it actually records it in the glasses. It sends a text message, it sends an email or whatever it does. Let me paint another picture for you. You're in a meeting that's running long because of course it does. It's always the law of meetings. The next meeting literally starts in a minute. Your phone buzzes or your Apple Watch or whatever you're using. And it may be that important calendar reminder, but it might also be another weather alert about today's light drizzle, or it's a notification that your parking meter is about to expire, like mine was, and you're about to get a $250 ticket in downtown Chicago. But you have no idea, because looking at your watch or looking at your phone in the middle of someone's PowerPoint presentation makes you look like you'd rather be anywhere else, which, to be fair, you probably would, but you can't be rude about it. So here's a fun one. I got bit by not seeing the alert in my parking app when I was in downtown Chicago. It was a costly mistake. They even sent me a notification to just pay the extra $2 to get another 30 minutes or something. And all I had to do was tap the button, but I couldn't see it because I didn't want to look at my phone. I didn't want to look at my watch. I didn't want to be rude. Now, imagine that you're in a movie theater or somewhere where pulling out your phone and lighting up the world around you would make you public enemy number one. These glasses solve that. Every notification pops up right in your field of vision. The urgent ones, the important ones, all of them. And here's the beautiful part. I can take action without disturbing anyone. No bright screen in a dark theater. No speaking to Siri like I'm having a conversation with my invisible friend. No giant gestures in the air like I'm in Minority Report or conducting an orchestra that only I hear. I can discreetly renew my parking meter while pretending to still pay attention to whatever's happening around me. Revolutionary? Maybe it's overselling it a bit, but practical? Absolutely. Now, let's talk about what this says about innovation or lack thereof. Remember a few weeks ago when I absolutely demolished Apple for spending an entire keynote announcing that their new interface would now have glass-like effects and that they added orange as a color option, whatever, and they proudly proclaimed their latest chipsets would finally have the same technology that every other company has had for months. Listen, if that were a Kickstarter update, it would have been 3 bullet points in an email that nobody reads. I just deleted. But Apple turned it into an hour-long back-padding event and then watched their stock price fall off a cliff because even Wall Street was like, that's it. Where's the innovation? I'm still rocking an iPhone 14. Zero interest in upgrading, not even a flicker of FOMO with the new phone. That's the problem that Apple is having. And you know what I said in that rant? I said Apple should be building a wristband for their Apple Watch that lets me input data without a keyboard. And boom, Meta just did it. Not Apple, Meta, the company that tried to make us all believe in a universe where we'd buy virtual real estate. Here's a question for you guys. When was the last time you were genuinely excited about a new Apple product? Not just because they announced it, but because you saw it and you were like, oh man, that is going to change my life. I'm just curious. Now, before I just say that Meta just absolutely nailed every part of it, I want to rant about this. Meta had to include the obligatory cooking demonstration because apparently every tech company is legally required to show you someone following a recipe on their device. Guys, who are you making this for? Do you know your demographic? Let me break this down for you. Between recent college graduates and people in their 40s or 50s, how many people are actually cooking experimental new recipes every single night? Most people are heating up prepared food, making the same pasta they've made 1,000 times, or just ordering DoorDash or picking up food at a restaurant. I don't know anyone who's like, man, if only I had AR glasses to help me dice this onion and then tell me what the next step is, my life would be complete. But whatever, every tech demo needs someone making eggs apparently, or elevating food with edible flowers or something like that. It's in the rule book somewhere, I guess. The navigation features, though, are genuinely cool. And yes, before you ask, do I have some privacy concerns about Meta? Yeah, I think that's safe to say. I think we should all probably have some. Do I trust them with my data? About as much as I trust a diet that starts on Monday. Am I going to buy these glasses? You bet it. I am, for sure. Look, my Oculus Go is literally a brick right now. Meta killed it. I can't even log in anymore. It went out in the garbage because on my cursory investigation, I had to go back and download the old firmware and then try to flash it back to the headset to get it working. It wasn't going to happen. And will I forget all about it when I discreetly check my notifications during my next mind-numbing corporate presentation while I'm putting on my Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses? Yes, I am sure I will. Here's the thing. Meta is innovating. They're actually trying. Apple made the Vision Pro, a $3,500 space helmet that does everything except the stuff I actually really wanted. Meanwhile, Meta made glasses that cost $800, look normal, and solve real everyday problems. $800, is that cheap? No, but I think that's actually totally fair for what you're getting. It's $2,700 less than Apple's VR monstrosity, and it's just a few $100s more than the Apple Watch, and I think it could actually be far more valuable and useful than the Apple Watch. Listen, very few companies have the deep pockets, the talent, and the technological know-how to actually chase real innovation anymore. Most of us have great ideas because we're on the front lines every day thinking and working and trying to figure out how to make things better. A lot of you might run into a situation where you're like, man, I wish I had this device, or if only there was software that could do this. We have the problems, we have some of the ideas for solutions, but we don't have the billion-dollar R&D budgets to solve them. That's why when a company actually innovates, even if it's Meta, especially if it's Meta because they've let us down before, we should probably pay attention. And Apple apparently decided to rest on their laurels until the money runs out. Meanwhile, the company everyone loves to hate is out there making glasses that actually might change how we interact with technology on a day-to-day basis. So yes, I am buying them. I can't wait for them. I'm really excited about them, actually. I'm buying them despite my reservations, despite my privacy concerns, despite the fact that Meta's track record with hardware is spottier than a Dalmatian convention. But at the end of the day, these solve real problems for me. And isn't that what innovation is supposed to do? I thought it was. We'll see, though. Peter von Panda, out.